Earlier in the week, images of a store in Gqeberha called Lagadi appeared on social media showing a sign outside that reads LGBTQ not welcome at Lagadi, save our children, and citing the right of admission reserved. This has sparked an outrage or an outcry from the community and society at large. The South African Human Rights Commission has confirmed it is investigating a complaint against the establishment. Siposetu Boy is standing by to tell us what more we know at this hour. Good morning, Siposetu.
Good morning to you, Duduzile, and to the rest of the viewers. And of course, like you correctly stated, the story really went viral, and the pictures went viral on social media, sparking many debates. And from our understanding, when we arrived at the store this morning, just speaking to some of the residents, and the minute we walked in, they knew who we were there to see, which is of course Mr. Lagadi. But unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to speak to him because the store actually opens at 9:30, or rather at 9, and his daughter of course was there. And speaking to some of the residents, or rather the shop owners there, they state the fact that this is actually a Muslim society, and of course the issue of the LGBTQI plus community is not one that's really spoken about in this area. And an incident, or rather an event, happened in Mr. Lagadi's store, and that's then really the reason, from what they understand, that caused him to have the sign outside his store. And I'm joined now by Mulelo Tunana, who's going to be engaging us on this topic, and also just clarifying and making us understand truly what really has been the conversation on social media with regards to the Lagadi store here in the northern areas.
I think what happened in media, just social media, it was just an expression of how the community are also, divided and also have different views. But I must say, what happened in Nelson Mandela Bay is not just an unfortunate incident only, but it also brings about a sense of a need to address such issues, and as I'm coming from an organization called Gqeberha, so one of the things that we are always encouraging our government to do is to establish a concrete program, a national program to educate citizens of South Africa about gender diversity and sexual orientation, so that at least people, because the issue of LGBTIQ+ is a continental phenomenon. And what more I can add is that the gentleman, when he was asked by a journalist from a particular media company or a publisher, and he was taken into account about Equality Act, he seems not to care about it, not because of he knows it, because there is a broader misunderstanding and a lack of knowledge about such courts. So one of the reasons we are saying that we need to begin to have these conversations so that people can begin to have a clear understanding. I mean, you can understand there was a survey in 2015 that was released by the Access to Constitution, access to justice and promotion of constitutional rights baseline survey 2015, that about 10% of respondents are quite not aware of such courts. So it means that people need to get involved in issues of education about gender diversity and sexual orientation. So that such cases people could know at least how to handle them. So it's very important that in Ndobana we begin to create such conversations. I think what is lacking is a conversation.
And it also just speaks through the issue of religion. How do we introduce such topics that are foreign or we don't understand to our own children, so that they also understand that there's a vast, diverse country with diverse people who have different preferences than others. So the issue of conversation is one that needs to be had, and it's one that needs to start from various different religious beliefs, like in the situation here of this particular store.
And you need to understand, when we're speaking about what happened here, is an expression of a particular portion of population in South Africa. So one of the things that as Gqeberha we are doing in our own small scales here in Nelson Mandela Bay is to educate. We are more focused in school. I think that is our a signature intervention, educating people about the issues of gender diversity and sexual orientation, and going into institutions of also of government, because they are dealing with a community that is diverse. So what we wish now is to see this expanded to a national level, because they really get the issue of LGBTIQ+. It's a continental phenomenon, as you can see even what happened in Uganda, and which is even in countries like Kenya. They are thinking about putting such laws. So when we begin to have this conversation, I am telling you something is going to take place. So this one is just igniting us to have these conversations.
Just speaking to us about the issue of conversation when it comes to the vast diversity of the differences that people may have as far as the sexual orientation and the issue of acceptance between the two different or plus conversations amongst the different religions of people. And of course, hopefully we'll get the opportunity to also speak to Mr. Lagadi, and also for him to be given that platform to explain and rather state his statements, and also just explain really what the reasoning behind that board that sparked a lot of media outcry and of course community outcry with regards to his own beliefs here in Gqeberha.
Siposetu Boy, thank you very much for that report.